Hello student, myself Kalpana Singh. I am your bio teacher and today we will take a topic cell biology. Now in cell biology, if we focus on biology, the bio is made up of two words, bio and logy. Bio means living and logy means to study. That means in biology we study the living organisms. Now what are living organisms? If we look at our surroundings, we can see numerous varieties of the living and non-living things. Now question arises, how we distinguish between the living and non-living? There is no such perfect criteria कि we explain कि this is any definition regarding the living and non-living. So we distinguish them through the differentiation. And here today we are taking some of the points of differentiation that makes a great difference between the living and non-living. So first of all, we'll move to the first point of differentiation, that is the movement. Of course, movement means locomotion. To move from one place to another place. That is done by only the living organism. See, we have plants and animals, the big two groups, two kingdoms that comes in the category of living things. Right. Now, if you are talking about animals, so they have their limbs to jump, to hop, to walk, to run. What about the plants? How they move, how they walk, how they locomote. So, for that, yes, plants move karte hain ki nahi? Yes, plant of course move. How they show their movement? They show their movement through the bending of the stems and the bending of the leaves like that. So yes, of course, plant and animal both show movement, whereas non-living things cannot move. If you are talking about this blackboard, if we are talking about the table or chair, they move only when we put pressure or if we unko drag karenge, only then they can move. Without pressure applying force, they cannot move. So the first point that makes a difference between living and non-living, that is the movement. Now we'll come to the second point, that is called breathing or respiration. Respiration is elaborate part of the breathing. What is breathing? Breathing means intake of oxygen and outtake of carbon dioxide. That again done by the plants and animal, and they comes in the category of living again. So breathing is possible or the function that is performed by the living organism. Again, non-living things cannot breathe, non-living things cannot respire. Respiration is a complete process that includes breathing and the transportation of oxygen to each and every cell. So now next is reproduction. For the continuation of generation, yes, reproduction is important, and this again happens only in the living organism. It cannot be possible in the non-living. This is the third important point that shows the difference between living and non-living. Now the next point is excretion. Excretion is done only in those organisms that engulf food for their survival. And who engulf food, who consume food? Only the living one. Non-living do not require any breathing, they do not require any movement, they do not show any reproduction, they do not show any excretion. So many more points are there, but today we are taking only these four important points. So through these points we can conclude that there is a huge difference between the living and non-living. Now focus on the living organism because our topic is cell, the biology. So we have to focus on the living organism. Now living organism, maybe the plant or the animal. See, two categories are there to whom we consider the living, that is the plants and animal. Of course, a third category is also there, microorganism, but they are the microscopic, and today we are not considering it. Two main jo kingdoms hai, that is the plant and animal, that are the living organism. So cell, what is cell? All the living organism, whether the plants or animal, is made up of cell. What is cell? Cell को हम दो points में describe कर सकते हैं. First is the basic unit of living organism. Basic unit. Unit means one. If suppose I am taking the example of this room, how this room form, how this room made up of, yeah, how this room has been made. तो unit क्या हुआ इसका? Brick. By adding brick 1, 2, 3, 4, we make a wall, and with the 4 walls we make a room, and with 2, 3 rooms we make a house or building. So like brick is the unit of room or house, cell is the unit of living organism. 1 cell, 2 cell, 4 cell, more cells, they add on, divide on and multiply on, and they make a proper living organism. So yes, cell is the basic unit of living organism. Now next concept, the next point, that shows the description of the cell, that is, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. The fundamental unit of life, your structural and functional unit of life, that is your chapter in the 9th standard also. Now cell, as we said, the basic unit of living organism. So when cells group together, what they make? They make tissues. Then group of tissues makes organ, group of organs makes organ system, and group of organ system make a complete living organism. Right? So yes, structural and functional unit of life. A structure, a organ is formed obviously with the the group of the cells or the group of the tissues. बेसिक नीचे उसका जो है यूनिट क्या है आपका सेल ही है. तो सेल जब कंबाइन होंगे, द सिमिलर सेल्स स्ट्रक्चरली एंड फंक्शनली, तो दे मेक अ ऑर्गन दैट शोज अ पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रक्चर. We have numerous organs, and every organ has its specific structure, and when structure is complete, so they perform a specific function. If you are talking about kidney or organ or structure, it has a particular structure and it performs a particular function, right? And that is called filtration. That purify your blood. Now, so cell, if we describe, that is a basic unit of living organism and is the structural and functional unit of life. Now we'll come to the next point regarding cell is the discovery. Very interesting point in it. Discovery, who discover the cell? Students, this topic is very important because question has been asked from this point, ki who discovered cell and when. We have to remember the date also. So Robert Hooke was the scientist. He discovered cell in 1665. There is a very interesting story regarding it. He examined a thin slice of cork under the microscope, that is discovered by himself only. That is a very simple microscope. So he analyzed that slice of cork, and how he get that slice of cork? Actually cork is he get from the bark of a tree. So when he examined that slice of cork, he realized that it resembles the structure of the honeycomb, that is made up of several compartments. So he concluded that cell is cell is like a honeycomb or like a small compartments. So he gave the name cell. Now cell is not a English word. Previously English wasn't the universal language. That time Latin was very much in use. So cell is a Latin word that means little room. Right? So who discovered cell? Robert Hooke discovered the cell, and in which period? 1665. So in that period you can understand it was a very long time back. So 1665 में there was no invention of microscope or electron microscope. Simple सा उसने जो एक simple microscope उसने बनाया था self design, उसके अंदर उसने देखा and एक उसको जो एक लिमिटेड उसके पास अवेलेबिलिटी थी सोर्सेज की, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली उसने डिस्कवर किया. नाउ नेक्स्ट पॉइंट रिगार्डिंग द सेल इज द शेप एंड द साइज. As we have several organs, I have described you ki all the organs made basically from the cells. Each and every part of the body is made up of cell. Now we have the numerous organs. Every organ has its different shape and size, and because of that they are also have a different shape and size. If you are talking about amoeba, that is a single cell organism, whole body is made up of one cell only. So in that single cell he has to perform all the activities. So that cell has a capability to change its shape and size. In complex organism having the several cells, so they have a different shape and size. There is a variety of shapes and size in the cells. Now the topic shape and size of the cell. So it has a variety, it has a great variety of the shape and size of the cell, and on the basis of that several questions has been asked regarding it, like name the smallest cell, name the largest cell, and name the longest cell. It has been asked in the finals. So smallest cell में mycoplasma, then largest cell egg of ostrich, and the longest cell the nerve cell. Another name of nerve cell is the neuron. We can call a neuron or nerve cell, both are same. Now mycoplasma is the smallest ever cell that has been discovered. Then the largest cell, that is the egg of the ostrich, very well known, and ostrich is an animal, and the egg of ostrich is supposed to be the largest one. Then the longest one, that is the nerve cell or neuron. So students, as I have told you in the beginning of the chapter or the topic, the cell biology means we are study biology means we are study about the living organism, we are study about the cell. So cell biology means study about the living organism, that is cell biology. There is one more branch of science that is called cytology. Again, cyto means cell and the logy means to study. That means in cytology also we study about the cell. So what is the difference between cell biology and cytology? So yes, there is a difference. In cell biology, we study about the structure of the cell, how we study about the reproduction that takes place in the cell or the division of the cell. Here we study about the metabolic activities that is taking place in the cell. So in cell biology we study about the structure of the cell, how it appears, what is the structure, various structures of the cell, how it reproduces, then what are the metabolic activities, how it are conducting in the cell. So we study collectively all the points in the regarding the cell in the branch of science that is called, or the section of science that is called the cell biology. Now we'll come to the cytology. In cytology, yes, of course we study the cell here also, but here only we study about the structure of the cell. Only the structure of the cell, and that makes a difference between cell biology and cytology. Now next we'll come to the topic that is called cell theory. So who has given the cell theory? So there are three scientists, they have been credited for giving the theory regarding the cell. So now from all these three scientists, first two scientists, M.J. Sheldon and T. Shawn, M.J. Sheldon in 1838, he has given some point, and in 39 Shawn gives some points regarding the cell theory. So Sheldon was a German botanist. Botany is the branch of science in which we study about the plants, and zoology is a branch of science in which we study about the animal. So Sheldon was a botanist and Shawn was the zoologist. Collectively they study about the cell and analyze that yes, of course, all the plants and animals are made up of cell. So they give two points regarding their theory. The first point is the organisms are made up of one or more than one cells. The first point what they give in their cell theory is the organisms are made up of one or more than one cell. Second point they just give, that cell is the basic unit of life, जो अभी हम that we discussed earlier also. So 2 points they have given, but 1 point is lacking. They are not able to describe about the process of reproduction that takes place in the cell. So that is the loophole. And then the third scientist, that is called Virchow, in 1855, he gave the point regarding the reproduction that takes place in the cell. So he said, Virchow said that parent cell further divide to form new daughter cells. If it is a parent cell, it divides and give two daughter cell. This is parent cell and these two are the daughter cells. So he concluded the third point of the cell theory, that cells are formed from pre-existing cell. So 3 points are there regarding the cell theory. First is that they are made up of one or more than one cell. Second point, cell is the basic unit of life. And the third point is the parent, that cells are formed from the pre-existing cell. Pre-existing cell means the parent cell. So they comes from the pre-existing cell, that is the third point. This is all regarding the cell theory. Now regarding the types of cells. So regarding the types of the cells, two types of the cells are there, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So two types of cells are there, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now regarding the prokaryotic cell, pro means the previous, or primitive. Whereas eu means the new cell. Karyon means, karyotic word comes from the word karyon. Karyon means nucleus. These are the previous or primitive, or we can say before. Pro means before. New means the complete cell. Karyon again regarding the nucleus. And cell we know what is it. So if we distinguish between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, first point is regarding the size of the cell. Prokaryotic cells are always small in size and as compared to prokaryotic cell, eukaryotic cells are large in size. Now next point regarding the prokaryotic cell, they are the primitive cells. So these cells they have the one we can say ki incomplete term or the organism in the cell, that is nucleus. So we can say ki nucleus is not defined. Means nucleus is there but it has no nuclear wall. If nuclear wall is not there, then how the nucleus exists? So we can say कि chromosomes lie or scattered in the cytoplasm because there is no nuclear wall, so there is no differentiation between the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. On the other hand, well defined nucleus is there. Then third point, prokaryotic cells, single chromosome present. And what is chromosome? It is a genetic material. Whereas in eukaryotic cell, particular number of chromosomes are present. Particular number of chromosome means, if you are talking about humans, we all come in the eukaryotic cell, the modern cell or the complete cell. So if you are talking about humans, so how many chromosomes are present? 23 pairs or total 46 chromosomes. So, and the example of prokaryotic cell, all the bacteria. Bacteria is the example of prokaryotic cell. If we are talking about the eukaryotic cell, all the plants and animals. So, types of cells, two types of cells are there, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, and these are the four important points that distinguish between the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Thank you, class.